you have an angle of your body that is going to determine your maximum range of motion through your entire body. And that's simply, if you stand tall, as Justin, in what we want to do, when you stand tall, we know Justin, for example, is an upper core player. That's how he's tested out. So you want to be in balance when you test this angle. So Justin, if you just rotate your forearms forward. Well, I mean, just turn your palm. Yeah, just relax. Just relax, just relax. Excuse me. Okay, now we're just going to turn that palm. See how shallow that is? Now, if you look at me next to Justin, see how extreme? I'm not throwing my arm out. I have a very extreme angle. He has a very shallow angle. So this has a lot to do with posture of the ball, as you're going to learn. So again, just rotate that palm just gently forward. Just face it. There you go. Now we measure it. I have a bubble on this digital protractor, and we're measuring 90 degrees to the ground down his forearm. So that's going down his forearm, and that bubble is centered. And we can actually get a number here, 157.5. So, Justin, what I'm going to have you do now is we're going to go this way again. And let's take a look at what different core regions do to posture. So if you'd go to your, yep, right there, 13.5, and go ahead and get in your setup. This is an upper core position. He's on a red number, okay? And you can see how much more spine tilt he has, but if we look at his thigh angle, it is exactly 157.5. And that's what you're going to find with the upper core players. Let's do that again. Get your setup. Feel ready to go?
Yeah.
Where's your weight?
On the balls of my feet.
Balls of your feet, okay? And that's what you're going to find. Upper core players, center of gravity moves up. When you get in your posture, your weight's going to be on the balls of your feet. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go to a mid-core stance width, which is black. So let's go to that second black. And go ahead and find your setup. Now, he's not trying to set any posture. He's going to let center of gravity is going to move him. So we can start to see his spine angle is closer. He's still a little bit forward. He's actually in the upper part, but the thigh angle is still that same angle that you saw a moment ago. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to stay in mid-core. That's the upper part of the mid-core. Let's go to the lower part of the mid-core and see if we see a change in your posture. There you go. Now, what we start to see for sure is spine angle now is starting to become a lot more symmetrical. That's 90 degrees to the ground, very close, still a little bit more spine tilt, but again, thigh angle hasn't changed. So we're starting to see these angles show up, and now let's go to the blue number, let's go to 14. Now he's going to the very low part of the lower core. There you go. Okay, now we see all the angles are lining up. So as the center of gravity moves down the body, posture gets a little more upright, everything. This is what we would look at as symmetry. If you're looking at the hitter at a plate, this is really a lot of what you would see. Justin, would you go back to this black number again? On the red, you were on the balls of the feet. Now, on the black, tell me if I'm wrong, you're going to be just behind the balls of the feet and forward to the center of the arch, right?
Yeah, kind of like middle to almost the heel.
Okay, let's go to the blue. This one's going to set you back. This is a low core player. You can actually, I can see Justin. I don't know if you can see with the camera here. He actually sat back a little bit. Where's your weight now?
It's on my heels.
Back. So your lower core players, this allows, and what you'll find through the school, that if you're low core, you're going to use your hips a lot more through the swing and a lot less in the backswing. So the upper core player uses more hips in the backswing and much less in the way of the hip rotation through in the downswing. And the mid-core really falls right in between those two. So as the center of gravity drops, centers in, we're in this low core region, it really activates and allows you to fire those hips. You don't want to be trying to turn your hips through if you're an upper core player. I've worked with Justin 10 years. 10 years ago, we were trying to get him to use his hips more because that was my model for instruction. And he really struggled.